Yo, what's up, friend? How are you doing today? How is the video finding you? Is it a good morning, good afternoon, or a good evening from where you are? Well, interesting. So, I intend on making your time even more better with some interesting videos. These videos, good web source, they are not your usual type of videos because through the videos, good vibes creature, we'll get to see the uniqueness of other individuals like yourself out there, and through that we can be able to come up with a way of uniting all earthlings, which is what we always talk about here. Good child of God, we are dedicated to spreading some virtues through the videos. And these virtues, the first one I've already mentioned is unity. The next one is peace. Peace in the whole world, everyone living in peace with their neighbor. Honesty, everyone is able to not deceive their neighbor, and above all, forgiving. Everyone forgives their neighbor the way they would like their Creator to forgive them when they seek for repentance. And now, child of God, the greatest virtue, which is love, is what we are always talking about, spreading it to the whole world together with your help, my friend. So hit that like button, subscribe, and join us on this fantastic mission of exploring mysteries of the world while spreading good vibes. But good vibes, child of God. For us to be successful on our mission, we have to be guided by the one who never fails, which is the Creator Almighty, whom we talk with in every show, my friend, with a word of thanks before we begin. But first, before we reach to that point, I'll share with you some word from this book called the Book of Wisdom or the Constitution of Life. And today is a short story. Hear what it says. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. Follow me, he told him. And Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners, in quotes, came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" Oh, on hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." My friends, that passage is from Matthew 9:9 going down. Interesting, right? Let's talk with our Maker before we dive in. Dear Lord Father, we thank you for your goodness, compassion, love, and greatness, dear Lord. Father, we have videos that we shall be reacting to together with your wonderful child here, today's viewer. Guide us through them. Help us to spread love and peace to the whole world, Father. And as we do so, forgive us our sins, Father. Forgive this viewer all their sins, dear Lord, and make them clean. Help us to go through them with love, Father, and also bless us abundantly. May this viewer, dear Lord, experience something they have never before in this video. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Time to dive in, good vibes. So,
You know, some people say that if something is meant for you, then you cannot miss it. You're definitely going to get that thing. Is that actually true? So there's a verse in Proverbs 30:19 where King Solomon, the wisest of all men, writes that there's a few things in life he'll never understand, and one of those things is a man getting together with a woman, a couple getting together. And the backdrop to that verse is that one of his daughters he saw in the stars was destined to marry a lowly person, a beggar, and he wanted to avoid the situation, so he put her out on an island and he built a watchtower and he put her in there where no one of such caliber could ever meet her. And an eagle on another part of the world picked up this beggar and he dropped him on top of the watchtower and he ended up marrying his daughter. And based on that story, King Solomon concluded that it's beyond human understanding to understand how a couple gets together. And if something's meant for you, yes, you have to put in some effort, but ultimately the result is going to happen.
This is probably common knowledge to some people, but it's a trick the old man taught me. Whenever I get a new can of stain or paint or clear coat or whatever, I pop little holes. I take a nail and I pop little holes around this lip of the can here. That way, when you scrape off your brush or your piece of cloth or whatever you're using, the liquid goes back into the can instead of sitting in that lip, and then when you put the lid on, it doesn't spray all over the place.
I have seen Satan twice. Once was in a dream and once was in this vision. When I saw him many, many years ago, I can't describe this, and I don't want to say something that people are going to criticize and say, well, that's weird. But he was not ugly as people describe him, with the horns and the pitchfork and the red tail. He looked like a man. In fact, in Isaiah, where he is going to be cast into the pit, it says that the people, when they see him about to go in the pit, they will say, is this the man that caused the nations to tremble? That's in Isaiah 14. So he looks like the appearance of a person, okay? But in this vision, he didn't have wings, but he looked like a man. But he was very, very strong. His hair was parted in the middle. It was very long, but he was very handsome to look upon. But I knew who he was. And he had covering his entire, now we know he's a spirit, he's an angel, but covering him was an armor. He almost had an armor covering him, his own armor that was protecting him. And I thought, oh, that is really weird. Where did he get that? How does he put this on himself? And he looked at me and he said, I hate you. I heard the words come out of his mouth. And I said, I hate you too. And then he starts making these threats.
A Thai person gave me this bamboo cup, and I tried to drink out of this side, and they're like, that's the wrong side. And I was like, what do you mean it's the wrong side? He was like, the foreigners have really long noses, so we cut out a hole for your nose. You have to drink this side. So it really does accommodate my long nose. I like it.
Hi, don't call animals ugly. They understand you. I'm an animal communicator, and even when you're joking, and even when you think it's funny, and whatever else the reason is, if you have done this jokingly and you mean well, it's okay. They are also very forgiving. I just want you to know that we don't like being called ugly, and neither do your animals. Okay, thanks. Have a good day.
Now, because I refuse to believe this, and even myself, so I need to show you guys. So, I've been at work for the last 8 hours. I've had meetings. I've been professional. I've seen people. I've been wearing this jacket this whole time. Why is it when I walk home, I notice this? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the collar. It shouldn't be at the back. It should be up here. It should be around here, not at the back. I have been wearing this jacket upside down for the last 8 hours. What? Do I just dive into my clothes in the morning and not even check? Apparently so, because that's what happened.
So many people have asked me to do the royals from Britain. So we're going to do the guy who's not going to be the king unless his brother gets offed somehow. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So this is Prince Harry. Quite an interesting face. I've never looked at these people from a diagnostic standpoint. And again, when I use diagnosis, I'm looking at it from a physiological standpoint. Are there some things going on with him that are health-wise concerned? There are some emotional things that will kind of show up here. So let's find out who Prince Harry is and what he's all about. There's 9 face shapes. He's a combination between a bucket and a tree face. So the bucket face is shaped like a bucket. He's bigger here, but there is a little more length to his face. So he's got some tree quality. The bucket face loves to put things in his bucket, loves to learn, intellectually persistent, thought leader, strategist. He's got a good mind, and that's a wonderful trait. Tree face is just as tree is deeply rooted. This guy's deeply rooted. He can take the winds of life pretty nicely, likes to grow on his own. Remember that. That is a key factor here. Likes to grow on his own. Doesn't like to be trimmed back. I think as a royal, there's a lot of trimming going on. You got to play by rules that you probably don't want to play with, that don't fit your personality, but it is your job to do so. And I don't think he liked it. That's why he probably strayed a little bit away from that. So let's dig a little deeper into him. We're going to see a rarity in looking at the right and left eye. Those of you who have watched any of my readings of other people, we know that the right eye is what we show to the world. It's our public persona. It's our mother's influence. The left eye is our truer inner private self, and it's our father's influence. We'll usually see something positive on the right, and there'll be something not necessarily negative, but certainly not super positive on the left, because that's your hidden side. When we cover his left eye and look at his right eye, I always go with the first thing that comes to my head, and he seems a little lost. Sorry, Prince Harry, but I think he is. Now, conversely, when we cover the right eye and look at that left eye, whoa, he's empty and he's sad. I'm not so sure he's happy with the decision he has made to to go the way he's gone. When we get to his wife, we'll see some interesting things show up there. Eyebrows are next. Eyebrows are very, very low set. This is someone that is very practical, very straightforward, very friendly, very approachable. So the straightness and the lowness is all those traits. So again, a very approachable young man. Hairline is narrow. When you see the hair actually touch the eyebrows, this is someone that was forced to agree with parental wishes. Probably rebelled against that a little bit. Very strict upbringing. Again, how could he not, given the family he was born into? Ears are interesting, different heights. This indicates a severed relationship with a parent or a step-parent. They're usually divorced. No, I mean, he had the ultimate sever when his mom was killed in that car accident. So the body will mark itself when there are events. How it marks itself can be very diagnostic. So there's issues. If he were on a therapist's couch, this is something he needs to work on. Health-wise, healthy guy. Ears are a tad red, which indicates there's too much heat in the kidneys. What puts the fire out sits on top of the kidney. It's your adrenal glands. It produces cortisone. That's your anti-inflammatory. But when you have too much heat in your kidney, you're under way too much stress, and it's constantly there. It's not a good thing to have. His pupils are slightly large. This is a sign that a part of his nervous system that should be balanced is not. He's in a state of sympathetic dominance. The sympathetic nervous system is it speeds you up. It's your accelerator. Your parasympathetic is your brake. So he's kind of driving his car with an accelerator only. You can get places, but you're getting in accidents, and those accidents are called symptoms. Classic symptoms you'll see with sympathetic dominance is photophobia, lights bother you, mouth is dry, heart rate skips beats, feels like a panic attack, and your digestion shuts down. You get digestive issues. So that's Prince Harry. So let's meet his wife.
I think I can. At first, it looks like little X is talking to Trump and then to the reporters. Let me show you. Trump, protect me. You need to go away. Hang on, let me break it down for you. A lot of people think little X was saying, quote, "You're not the president, you need to go away." And you know, that looks close, but it just didn't look right to me. And here's why. When you say the word president, your mouth doesn't move forward a lot. It's kind of like flat. Let me show you. President. President. Okay? The word protect, the O is forward. Protect. Protect. I'm going to show you again, and I'm going to slow it down. Trump, protect me. It just doesn't look like president. Protect me. You saw that forward O? So the other reason why I think he said that is if you watch this full interview, you can see any time a reporter was chatting while his dad was talking, little X shushed them. And it was so sassy and so cute. So it kind of makes sense if he was asking for support while he criticized adults. I'm going to show you some more. Be quiet now. I will too. Shut your mouth. Daddy, can we go see the starship? Okay, last one has audio.
There are sort of checks in place, so it's not just us just going in and doing things willy-nilly. It's in partnership with the agency heads, and I check frequently with the president to make sure that this is what.
Men have a coping mechanism, and the coping mechanism works like this: if you're going to be judgmental and intolerant of me, then I don't need you, and that coping mechanism goes into apathy. I have no use for you because you're not on my side anyway. Yeah, that's a straight up reaction. Apathy, men do that. They're like, okay, well, I don't need you then. And that becomes coldness and apathy. But it's a coping mechanism to not having an ally. Yeah? If you are the best thing that ever happened to him, do you think he's going to take good care of you, or do you think he's going to be cold and apathetic towards you? So that's it. It's an ongoing process. If you are the best thing that happens to him in his day, right? He's going to take super good care of you. He'll never be cold to you. But apathy is a man's coping mechanism to just get on with things, because men actually have this ability to soldier on, and then when somebody is eroding them or criticizing them or getting under their skin, in order to soldier on, they become apathetic.
Delivering a picture of presidential subservience, the likes of which we have never seen. The most powerless image of a president of the United States ever created by a camera. There it is. In that shot, Elon Musk is doing everything he possibly can to tell the world, without saying a word, that Donald Trump is not the boss of me. Donald Trump is the boss of the other adults in that shot, Stephen Miller and Will Scharf, and that's why they are following Donald Trump's lead on the dress code for the Oval Office, which is the same dress code that has existed for every previous president. Elon Musk owns suits and ties. We've seen him wearing them. But today he decided to do the billionaire thing. I met my first billionaire 25 years ago in Hollywood. It was at a fairly small reception in a private home during the Democratic National Convention in Los Angeles. I was wearing a suit and tie, as was every visitor from Washington in the room. The editor of Time magazine was one notch more casual, wearing a blue blazer and gray slacks and a necktie. The show business billionaire was wearing a T-shirt. Everyone knew that he was the richest person in the room, and he knew they knew. And that meant he could wear whatever he wanted. He could dress like he just walked out of a TV writer's room. And so I saw then that the billionaire power move was being underdressed, violating the dress code, and knowing that you can do it because clothes don't make the man, money makes the man. And today Elon Musk decided that he wanted to outdo all of his fellow tech billionaires who frequently show up in T-shirts, and so he violated another norm of business meetings at the White House and business meetings in a lot of places by bringing one of his 11 children. It was like bringing a dog to the home of a person who hates dogs.
This doesn't make any sense. See if you can figure it out. What you're looking at here is an invisibility frame. There's a hole at this side, a hole at this side, and whatever passes through the frame immediately becomes invisible. I'll prove it. Look, I've got a pen here. If I put the pen through one of the holes like this and push the pen all the way through the frame, you'll see it emerges at the other side, but the centre section has become completely invisible. Now, when people see this, they think it's some sort of optical illusion, but obviously you can see me all the way through the frame. The second thing people think is that this spring here has something to do with it. The spring just acts as a guide. I can actually remove the spring completely. I can put my fingers through the frame and you can see it works in exactly the same way. So check it out. The hole is real. The pen is solid. So how does that work?
Do not do an asymmetrical smile in your profile picture. You are accidentally signaling negativity. In your profile pictures, here are the 3 biggest mistakes people make. 1, they're showing through your eyes. You are signaling accidentally anxiety. Try to make sure you're not showing the upper whites. Second mistake people do is they make a contempt microexpression. So if people make the contempt expression, not only do they look scornful, kind of disdained, they actually begin to feel better than and scornful. So do not do an asymmetrical smile in your profile picture. You are accidentally signaling negativity. The third biggest mistake people make is they do an inauthentic smile in their picture. The only true indicator of happiness is when these cheek muscles are activated. If you can activate these muscles in your profile picture, it shows authentic happiness, or don't smile at all. I hate the advice. Just smile more. Fake smiles do not work. I would rather you have no smile at all or be neutral than fake smile. But if you can smile in your picture, it is so great for authentic happiness.
Doing this, you know the reason they're doing this is they're saying, ha ha ha, we got his eye. It's mocking Horus, it's mocking the good. One of the big secrets of Freemasonry is that the father becomes the son. Let's use Egypt as an example because it's an easy example. So the war went on between Osiris and Set.
Yes.
Okay?
Dark and light.
Yes. Set gathered together 72 of his cohorts and betrayed Osiris, stabbed him, and then cut him up into 13 pieces, scattered them across the planet. Then Isis, with the help of a couple of others who are less important in my opinion, Isis then came. She found the pieces, but she didn't find the phallus. So she put them together, but she couldn't find the phallus. She knew that she needed to continue and propagate that bloodline because it was critical to what is happening now. If that bloodline hadn't continued, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing now. So she created, through magic, a golden phallus. Then she made love to Osiris that way. Then Horus was born. But the truth of that is Horus is Osiris reborn.
Okay.
So Horus is Osiris. They're not separate beings. They're one and the same thing. So then the battle continued between Horus and Set and went on and on. Set then took
Look at this, my friends. Oh, this is what good vibes guy was talking about. The eyes. These guys look like they are hit.
I low-key dropped everything just to make a video on this right now. This is fucking nuts. Like, that detail right there is not insignificant. They're just f***ing around. They're just playing games. How many dot connections do you need to see until you actually realize that the world we live in is run by fucking panic people? And if this isn't enough, what do you think Balenciaga stands for? Balenciaga stands for Baal is King, just that guy right there. Let's Google it. Who is Baal? In the Bible, Baal is the name given to several different deities who are designated as false gods or idols. Baal is associated with Beelzebub, demons, and the devil. The Simpsons predictions are ridiculous, actually ridiculous. What a time to be alive. Every single day I'm mind blown. I'm not surprised, but I'm mind blown. Everything we've been told is just a lie. The government, politics, it's all a distraction. It means nothing. There's only a select few families that run this entire matrix, and these people, they pray to the devil. They sacrifice children. They're the ones behind all this trafficking, all the children disappearing. This ain't some fucking conspiracy no more. And I know it's scary because this shit is fucked up. It's so fucked up you can't even believe it. But it's the truth. It's time to wake up, fam.
Look it up in the dictionary. Atom was the Aton, was the sun god in Egypt. And so the Jews called that the Tetragrammaton. Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah, well, Tetragrammaton is the name of God in its most holiest form, but you cannot use his name, his real name. So the name of God is Aton, because Tetragrammaton is tetra, which means four, gramma, which means a letter, like you write in A, B, C, those are letters. So tetra is four, gramma is a letter, A-T-O-N, Tetragrammaton. But the Jews will tell you today, ask any Jewish rabbi or any Jews, what's the name of God? And they said, no, we can't use that. Can't use his name. Well, what do you call him then? We call him Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton, A-T-O-N. And then everywhere around the world, and every synagogue you will ever go into in any country of the world, you will always see God's name inside a sun. Always. As the rabbi explained to me, the Jews were not monotheistic, they were heno, spelled H-E-N-O, henotheistic. Henotheistic means choosing one God from a group.
Of several.
Of several.
Y'all, this is one of the cases that I just cannot get over. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. This happened around 2020, but this is just one of those stories that I feel like a lot of people need to listen to, because a lot of people get fascinated by these things and these people and get obsessed with this stuff and just go poking into stuff that they're not educated with or that is not meant for them. So if you are not familiar with this story, I'm about to let y'all know what happened. So this 19-year-old self-proclaimed Wiccan decided that she wanted to hex her black girlfriend. Yes, her black girlfriend. And to reach out to Papa Legba. If you're not familiar with Papa Legba, I've made a video about him a while ago. You can go check that out on my page, but I can make a new updated version. But Papa, he is the spirit to the crossroad. That is his job, to connect with the gateway to the spiritual world. So if you've reached out to this black spiritual deity to hex your black girlfriend. So first of all, many people that I guess like she knew a lot of different people that did voodoo and practitioners and stuff like that did voodoo. They warned her. They said, you're not educated on this. You're just somebody that's probably watched American Horror Story and seen where they portrayed Papa Legba and got a little obsession with it. But you don't know this magic.
When you look up the word bad and you get into the brackets, and how many of you have sons or know people that have sons and say, man, that show was a bad little boy. Do not ever call any little melanated boy bad. The word bad means effeminate and hermaphroditic. Get in the brackets. The word bad means a hermaphrodite or womanish man. Is that what you see in the dictionary? Yeah. The scriptures say, ask and you shall receive. You speak it out and you make it reality because you spoke it into existence. And this is something that dark-skinned people have the power to do. He kept saying, I'm bad, you know it. And today, he's bad, and you know it. And you know
that. Today's youth is crazy angry and they're learning faster. And America is scared to death of that shit. They're gonna blow us up before they let us come into power. You can believe that shit. All that shit's gonna burn. All of it.
So you believe in some kind of Armageddon?
Yeah, most definitely. We in the last times and days right now. The Illuminati's in effect. See, the Illuminati ain't nothing but like it's gonna be a second Great Depression out here in America. Except this time, corporate America's prepared themselves for it. Meaning when it hits, their money is gonna be safe. As far as the rest of us that don't own our own businesses and things of that nature, so bad, we're gonna be killing each other in the streets, man. Mad Max and Beyond Terror Dome and all that is gonna be on, man. And they're gonna have to blow us up, which is what they're gonna do. They're gonna inject us with these, they're gonna say it's like for everybody mandatory AIDS testing because AIDS is so widespread. They're gonna be giving them vaccines for it so they don't catch it off top like measles, mumps and stuff like that. But in all actuality, what they're doing is putting microchips in and your babies so they can keep tabs on where you're at. That's deep. That's deep. They're not even using money anymore as far as paper. It's going to be cards to show what status you are, how financially well off you are or whatever. You know, what do you own, and it'll tell everything about you. Welfare is gone. They just going, funds for schooling.
Clots under the microscope, this is what we see. This is just an example of the post-mortem clots. And yes, they're long and they're very fibrous, and that fibrous aspect of them, there's no, nanochips and wires and all this crazy stuff you hear on the internet. I think that's just all tinfoil scaremongering. But what there is unusual amounts of collected proteins. There are unusual combinations of proteins that make these very difficult for the body to dissolve.
I can come back and I stay alive. I want to tell you something. I will give you a hint of what he showed me. It's going to happen. And you have to get rid of these metals in your body. And I know exactly how to do it very easily. If you want to do it fast and quick, it would be green drinks. There's something with chlorophyll that has to do with it matches, it's very close to your blood in its structure. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so you have to have a carrier that will grab things and take them out of your body, okay? So if you want to know what's going to happen, and it could happen tomorrow, it could happen, but they're going to say it's something else. You're going to have to do your own thinking about this. I don't want to get in trouble. But just stick a piece of foil in a microwave and picture that in your body. Because you can't see a microwave, but you can see the results of it when it's present. And you know to not put foil in the microwave because you just do it once, and then you have a fireworks show that the neighbors talk about. Because frequencies affect different things. And if something is coming that is intentional, if it hits something that stops it,